Hello everyone, welcome back to the How to Cook That series. So today we're going to go over how to make a pizza, kind of from scratch. So you may recognize this dough. I made it like about a day ago, and I've been letting it kind of sit out and ferment over that time. And what we're going to do is just take a portion of this dough, and I'm just going to make one simple pizza for you, just a pepperoni pizza. So we're going to take this and let's actually just take a look at it real quick. So what we got, oh yeah. That looks really good. It's a lot of good bubbling right there, bubblage. Got some good movement, very jiggly, very wet. This dough is extremely wet. Now, that may make it a little bit harder to work with, but don't worry, we can use flour to cover our mistakes here. So, basically what we're gonna do is, I'm just gonna grab this right here and just turn out half this bowl onto the counter, and only half because I'm going to save the other half for later. So let me just get about half out. Alright, I'll leave that right there and just set this aside for right now. Alright. So we got our dough here. It's been heavily floured. We're going to flour this side, and then we're just going to, right now, we're just going to kind of just shape the dough. And you can see that it's still very sticky, so I need to get a lot more flour on my hands and on this dough. And we're just going to incorporate some more flour. I'm going to get my bench scraper as well. This should help with the process. Okay. So you want to work with this kind of fast. It's going to stick to you a lot. That's just kind of the nature of dough. The point is that you kind of just want to mess with it until you get to a point where you feel comfortable working with it. So I'm just going to keep adding a lot of flour since this is still extremely wet at the moment, and seeing if I can get this to work together. All right. So you can go ahead and just knead this dough for a little bit. A And I'm just going to slap it on the counter for a little bit. A little bit more flour there. All right. Make sure everything's incorporated. All right, let me get these extra bits off. Good thing to do is just take some flour and just kind of rub your hands together like that. You can get a lot of that wetness off and just kind of start over if you need to. All right, so still need more powder on this dough. All right, so we got our dough formed. So now what we're gonna do is kind of just do a little trick here. In the meantime, what you're supposed to be doing is also set your oven to as high as it can go. Mine only goes up to 500, which I don't even know if it reaches 500, but I set it up to 500 about 30 minutes to an hour ago. And I also have a pizza stone in there sitting. So we're going to use the pizza stone to kind of cook the bottom of this pizza really well. If you don't have a pizza stone, what you can do is just use the backside of a sheet tray. It won't get you something that's as crisp as if you were using a pizza stone or a steel, but it'll still work out pretty well. So actually what I'm going to do is just flour this a little bit just to get that ready. And then I'm also going to prep my pizza. So an easy way, if you're using a pizza stone, to transfer the pizza onto there, like say if you don't have a pizza peel, you can just use parchment paper. Parchment paper will work fine for this. So what I'm gonna do is just pick up my pizza, toss it on there, throw this aside, and we're gonna start shaping our dough here. So remember, get yourself a nice and flour surface and start pushing out this pizza. Now, since this dough is so sticky, you're not going to see me kind of doing the classic move of picking it up and tossing it with my hands. I'm just going to spread it along the board until I can't spread it anymore. And we're going to use that as the guidance for this pizza dough. So, and you kind of want to use just like, not the tip of your finger, but like the length of your finger here to really push the dough in. And I'm trying to get this more oblong since my pizza stone is rectangular, and why not have a rectangular pizza? I mean, you're making this yourself, so you might as well make it to any shape you want. I mean, you can do a heart, you could do rectangle, you could do a square, you could do anything. It's pizza. All right. Okay, I feel like my sides here are looking pretty good. So now what I'm going to do is basically start dressing the pizza. So what we're going to need here is just some pizza sauce. I just have some roasted garlic sauce from the store. You can use anything, you can make your own. It really doesn't really matter. It's going to taste amazing because it's pizza. Like, even bad pizza is good pizza. So I'm going to sauce this quite heavily. And get a little bit more here on this side. Now I'm leaving a crust. What you can also do is just go all the way up to the crust as well with this and just hit everything. And that does make a pretty good pizza, because what'll happen is that it'll start baking off the side of it, and it'll char up the sides really nicely and create a really crunchy, cheesy crust that's just kind of out of this world. It's pretty good, but I'm just gonna try my best today to get like a normal crust going. So next, what we're gonna want to add is just some cheese. So I got my cheese grater here, and let me get out my cheese. Still have half a block from when I made the other stuff. And we're just going to grate this on. Now, we don't need a lot of cheese. This will spread out on its own pretty well. But maybe I might be able to use half of this, or the rest of this half, on this pie. If you put too much cheese on there, the pizza will get way too soggy to really eat properly. And the goal here is to cook the bottom well enough so that it's able to kind of stand up on its own when you pick up a slice. If you've ever picked up like a Pizza Hut pizza and like it's all soggy and floppy, that's not exactly what you want. You want a pizza that has some integrity to it, and that's what we're trying to get here today. So I'm just gonna finish up cheesing up this pizza. And next what we're going to do is get some pepperoni. So I got myself a thick wad of pepperoni here, and I'm just going to dart that around the pizza and kind of cover it everywhere I can go. Alright, so this is what it should look like when you're about to put it in the oven. I do have a piece of eating pepperoni here that I'm going to try, so, you know, always good to have a piece for yourself before you put it in. I mean, why not? It's part of cooking. Just eat as you go. Gonna try and get off a little bit more of that flour. It will get caked onto you. It's just a fact of just working with dough, beginner or advanced user. It'll happen. Just worry that, well, don't worry that it happens to you. It happens to everyone, and don't get discouraged by it. It's perfectly natural for that sort of thing to happen. So now what we're gonna do is open up our preheated oven and get this pizza in there and see how well we can get it to cook. So, remember, I have parchment paper here to make this easy. This will release from the parchment paper after it cooks pretty well, so I have no fear about that. So let's go ahead and, oh, sorry about that. Need to grab this as well. All right, so we got the pizza in. We're gonna just throw it in there and let that cook for about 8 to 11 minutes. So I'll see you then. And we're back, and it's been about 11 minutes now. So we're gonna go ahead and get the pizza out of the oven. So I'm gonna just take my sheet tray here as a little moving device. Grab the pizza here. All right, and I'm just gonna set this down and then close my oven. And boom. All right, so now we just gotta transfer this pizza here, and this is almost it. This is almost our super thick crust pepperoni pizza that we got right here. So, just going to try and shove it off right there. And we can move this out of the way. Boom. All right, let's get a close up here of this pizza. All right, that's looking beautiful. My God. And the reason why we used mozzarella, we used low moisture, full fat mozzarella. You can really only get that through your deli, through thick slices, or if you are able to find it, they do sell it as string cheese. You could also use, but that's how you get that like New York style like looking pizza that just has all of that beautiful sauce right there. Oh my God, that looks so good. All right, but we're not done yet. We have some melted butter here. And what we're going to do is add a little bit of garlic powder. And some oregano. And we're going to baste our sauce. So we get a lot of oregano in there. Mix that around nice. All right, and we're just going to baste the crust here. This is how you make that super thick crust all nice and tasty and delicious. Just adding garlic and oregano. Don't worry about getting it everywhere. You can always clean that counter after you're done. You just want to put as much sauce on this as possible. Let it soak in there and really fuse in. And get that crust very flavorful. And don't worry if it gets onto the pizza as well. I mean, that's just extra flavor, you know? All right, and we're done. This is it. You just want to let this cool for about 10 or so minutes, and it's all ready to go and it's ready to eat. I can still kind of lift it up here. If you look closely, you can see how it kind of like lifts up as one piece. It's not curling inwards. That means that we did our job and that the bottom is cooked enough to where it's not just going to be soft and mushy. It's going to be a nice crisp bottom and a mushy center, which is what you want, that contrast for perfect pizza. So yeah, this is really the only way to make a thick crust pizza, is by leaving a big crust like that, and then just adding some garlic butter to the sides, and it's going to be amazing. I'm going to go ahead and stop the video here. Thank you all for watching. I'm going to go devour this now. Please leave a like or a comment or the follow button, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.